show title. So I wrote down the new Ferbey 4.
I love it. Let's do it. We'll be fine with it.
Unless anybody's got other, like...
What are we referring to?
Well,
Ferbey 4.
Three of us plus Randy is...
Oh,
They were the Ferbey 4.
No, I didn't know who the other 3 were. I didn't know like if there was 4 events that he'd been.
Yeah, we're going.
I didn't know what the hell you were talking about. Now I got it.
God damn it, Craig! Like, gonna bring you along for everything.
You're dead to me.
Hey, curling fan! There we go. Thanks. After 5 seasons, we still got it down, guys. We still got it.
Still got the magic.
Still got the magic. Welcome, curling fans, to season 5, episode 1, the new Ferbey 4.
Should this be like episode half? Because it's so early. It shouldn't even be episode 1. It should be like episode half.
But we got a top-notch guest, so it's episode 1.
Make it episode 1. Episode 2 is going to be in a while.
I can't do that much math, Mike. So it's going to be, this is going to be 1. 2 is going to come out. I'm not sure when.
All right.
So,
good enough.
Yes, we're starting a little early because we're talking with Randy Ferbey about the Everest. I got it written down here.
Get the name right.
Everest North American Curling Championship happening in Lafayette, Colorado. At the
Rock Creek
Curling Club. Broadcast on CBS Sports in the U.S. and TSN in Canada. The 2 top teams, club teams in North America are going head to head.
Yep. Live next Tuesday and Wednesday,
September 17th
September
and 18th.
17th and 18th.
6 o'clock Mountain, which means 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
9:30 Newfoundland.
9:30 Newfoundland.
Whoa. Great math. Gold star for you today, Craig.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Check local listings.
But first, we got to thank our sponsors. Modus Financial's back for another season. If you need a credit card processing system, also called POS for some reason. If you need to take
point of sale.
Point of sale.
That's what POS stands for. Not piece of shit. Point of sale.
Point of sale. And you should know, Craig.
Yes.
Not because you're a piece of shit.
I thought you were going to say not because you're a point of sale.
I'll save my snide comments for another time, Craig. Don't worry, they're coming.
Couple minutes.
If you need a credit card wiper, POS equipment, or an integrated POS system, Modus has your needs. Mason knows what he's doing. If you're a credit card and if you're a curling club, there we go. If you're a curling club and you're taking dues, do it by a credit card. It's a lot easier.
Do it.
Your
100%.
Your volunteers will thank you for it.
This is them at moduscc.com.
moduscc.com. Also, Endgame Curling. Corey makes a good broom. I've got one. I bought it with my own money.
I'm still waiting for Croy to give me one so I don't have to spend my own money. Like a green one.
Endgamecurling.com. They've got the travel broom, which is nice. I got my hands on it this past summer. It's really solid, actually.
I've seen it in work. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The travel broom is the way to go if you travel a lot.
It breaks down into 3 pieces. 4.
Yes.
3?
4. Well,
right?
you can
4.
take the head
Well,
off.
3.
Yeah, you can take that off.
Well, the handle's in 3, and
Yes.
then the head is the fourth piece.
Correct.
Yeah. Also, the most economical head replacement. All you gotta do is change out the fabric. So there's no reason. It's the start of the curling season, so there's no reason not to have a fresh head for the year. Your ice maker will thank you.
Yeah.
Visit endgamecurling.com. They got standard fabrics, also WCF approved fabric for competitive play. Visit endgamecurling.com. Thanks, Croy. All right, guys. We're back.
6.5 out of 10 first read for the year.
Yeah, whatever. Close enough.
We're back, season 5, episode 1. I'm not going to say nobody thought we could do it, but, well, probably nobody thought we could do it, so.
I told my youngest son that I had to go do a podcast tonight, and he said, "Oh, you're still doing that?" This was right after I took him for fried chicken, and he still talked to me that way.
Such enthusiasm out of the Brown household. Lynn has probably still also never listened to an episode, has she?
I don't think so.
Don't think so? All right, great. I know my wife,
enough.
I don't think has listened to an episode.
Same.
How about you? Same?
Same.
All right. For however many.
My wife says that she gets enough curling talk around the house.
Sure. Both of my children have listened to at least one episode because we were driving across the country one day, and
you were in
put
charge?
one on that I wanted to hear it I wanted to hear how it sounded or whatever.
Sure.
And so I put one or two on,
right.
and so I know that my kids have listened to one or two.
Hopefully I didn't swear too many times in that show.
It doesn't fucking matter. Excuse me.
Well played.
Earmuffs, kid. Earmuffs.
Yeah. What do we do this summer? We're not going to talk about curling. It's way too early for curling. I think some teams have curled.
Well, should we talk to Randy first and then talk?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Well, let's talk to Randy first, and then we'll talk about what we did this summer.
Let's do it.
All right.
Here's Randy.
It's a pretty great summer. Don't miss it.
All right, it's an early season edition of the Curling Nation podcast. We've got a great guest to kick off this season. He is a 5-time world champion, 6-time Brier champion, probably won a whole lot of other things that Wikipedia hasn't made me aware of. He is also, I don't know, we'll find out his official title. He is associated with the Everest Championship out in Colorado that's coming up. Randy Ferbey, welcome to the Curling Nation podcast. How are we doing this afternoon?
I am doing excellent. Excellent. I'm doing great. I'm sitting in Colorado here or in Lafayette waiting for our event is 1 week away, and we're putting final touches on things, and we're just getting set up, and so it's kind of exciting.
Awesome. What is the official name of the event out there?
Everest North America Club Curling Championship, ENAC. It's a mouthful, but it's ENAC.
ENAC. Okay. And they're a Canadian funeral home company. Is that right?
No, they're actually Everest. It's not a funeral home. It's a concierge service. So it's the only kind in North America where we do not own funeral homes. What you do, you buy a whole life package for your final expenses, and we take care of everything. We take care of all the grief, all the negotiating, everything for you when you go into a funeral home. And what's unique about it is it doesn't cost you nothing. We do that for free outside of the package that you buy. So it's something honest that every single person needs. It doesn't cost you money. I mean, everybody on this podcast is going to be gone one day. You need it. Everybody needs it, and it's a great, great thing. You pass away, you make one call, 24 hours. They're negotiating everything what you wished would happen at your demise.
Wow. Huh. Do you?
So is this your company?
Oh, I wish. No, actually, believe it or not, it's North America, and it's in Europe a little bit now. They're based out of Houston, Texas. Believe it or not.
Okay.
And they got you can buy their product through a World Financial Group. You probably heard World Financial Group. They sponsor a lot of curling, so you have to buy the package through one of their agents. But their agents are right across North America, so it's very simple to do.
Okay.
How did they decide to get into the world of curling?
Very good question. How did a company from Houston, Texas, get involved in curling? The CEO, Mark Duffy, I'm going to say 11, 12 years ago, they were not in Canada. And so he approached the top producers in Canada from World Financial Group, because it's a good distribution group. They got 20 or 30,000 agents. And he met with the top people, and he wanted to get the product in Canada, obviously. And they secured the deal. But at the same time, he asked, well, what else do I got to do to make my company successful? And for some odd reason, one of the top WFG guys says, you got to hire Randy Ferbey, and you got to get involved. I'm serious. That's the way it works. So we had the first meeting I had with Mark was in Cabo, Mexico. We hit it off, and we've been doing great things for the last 12 years.
That sounds like a great place to have a first meeting in Cabo, Mexico.
You know you're going to do good when that happens. You know you gotta like the guy for sure.
You basically just bamboozled him about 12 margaritas into the day. Or...
No, I didn't bamboozle nothing. It wasn't that difficult.
Got it.
So
6 margaritas.
And you know what? He's come a long way. He loves the sport. He loves the people, as we all do. So it's been a good fit for us and the curling world.
Did he know what curling was before he talked to you?
He actually, yes, he did a little bit, but I mean, it's a learning curve. Obviously, he didn't know the game that well or the people, but he knew it was big in Canada. So he loved the opportunity. And like I said, we haven't looked back.
So this is the first time that I'm hearing about Everest. So they've been involved in curling for a number of years now then?
Oh, yeah, you're not paying attention close enough then.
Yeah, really.
There's sponsor lots of teams. There's ads on during all the main events.
Yeah.
Where you been?
Yeah, they haven't sponsored many teams because we like to do event planning. It's not just like we don't want to attach our name to a curling event like a sponsor, traditional sponsor. We kind of like to have our say in running the event. How do we make it better and memorable for the curlers? And I think we've done that. We've been sponsoring the Canadian seniors now for probably 10, 11 years. We have that Everest Curling Challenge in Moncton a few years back where it was the largest first prize ever in curling. Now we're sponsoring the Club Championship in Canada for the last 3 or 4 years, the Canadians there. And, you know, between you and the wall, we got a lot of things in the fire right now that could catch on, and we're not going away too soon here.
All right.
Excellent.
I like to hear that. I think that's good to hear. We talked to Jared Allen, who's part of the curling group, and I think they're excited to take get maybe a new spin on some of the slams. So if you're working with them or just kind of working to get more eyeballs on curling, other than during the Olympic cycle, I see it as nothing but a good thing for our sport.
No, it's a very good thing. Like we need curlers and sponsors and fans getting together. To me, if we just get curlers together, it doesn't work because most of the time they're looking at how it benefits them. You know, like we all know curling needs help from a sponsor, from a TV perspective, events and whatnot. And I don't think the curlers are the ones to do that. So we got our approach, get outside of the curlers. We can ask advice from them, but we need people that are really interested in curling. How do we grow curling? And I cannot do it myself. You guys cannot do it ourselves, but I think we got to get the right people in a room and have these discussions and come up with ideas that might be off the wall, we got to change it up a little bit and make it more exciting for the fan at home, the fan at the curling club, and the curlers themselves. Because I think it's a little stale in the last few years, or last lot of years, not just the last few years.
What makes you think it's stale? I guess I'm not disagreeing, but I want to hear your perspective.
Well, like the broadcast. The broadcasts in curling haven't changed in 30 or 40 years. You know, we got the two guys in the booth. The game starts. They go, "What a good shot with this!" But there's no interviews during the game. There's no entertainment during the game. There's no little stories during the game. You watch a football game. A football game can be the worst football game in the world. It can be a 76 game, but yet at the end of the game, you go, "Oh my God, what a great game! How exciting it was!" But they can turn that into something like, "Oh my God, how did I miss that game?" We don't do that at curling. We got to think outside the box with our announcers, how we're broadcasting the game, and all that sort of stuff.
Got it.
Yeah, I've done some live streaming here in the U.S. and it's certainly nothing like it is in Canada. But I've also done some work for ESPN on some of the Badger college football games here, and as has Mike, and we've seen the amount of people that are behind the camera is just enormous.
Yeah,
like there are so many more people there doing God knows what, and like in curling, we're not there yet. We don't have the funding to bring all those people in.
Well, that's part of the problem is the funding, and curlers and curling fans are traditionally, let's be honest, they're cheap, frugal, whatever you want to call it. You charge $20 for a ticket. They go, oh my God, last year was $10, and they're complaining about that. But they'll spend $400 or $500 to go watch a football game. It's crazy. But how do we get over that hump? I don't know. But we're trying to do some things, and we'll see where it goes. And what Nick Sulsky and his group is doing with the Grand Slams, I think it's great. I mean, I'm looking forward to see what he comes up with. I mean, they've talked a lot about changing the game, but we haven't heard how they're going to change the game or what they're going to do. I'm looking forward to coming up with or listening to see what he does ultimately come up with.
Fair. So this event that's coming up, it's the club national champions from Canada, men's and women's, against the U.S. men's and women's club national champions. Is that correct?
Correct.
Are they just playing one game apiece, or are they playing a best of three or something? Or
no, it's just a one game. It's broadcast live. This is going to be. See, this is what Mark and I talked about. Every year we talk about how can we make curling bigger and better or more interesting. So we came up with this idea probably a year ago. And this is totally run by the Everest group. It's got, even though it's endorsed by USA Curling and Canada Curling, we're the ones that are controlling the rules, everything to do about the on ice stuff, the fans, and all that sort of stuff. This is all on us. So again, like we're trying something different. So we came up with the idea, let's have a North American Club Championship. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of money to have 2 or 3 games. And the biggest thing we wanted was to have it on TV. So this is really the first ever live curling event across North America, live on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, which is quite phenomenal. Like, this has never, ever happened before. So this is picked up by TSN in Canada and run by, and CBS is picking up or the broadcaster from the US, which is kind of cool. It took a lot of work to get that. We looked at the dates probably 6, 8, 10 months ago, and they came up with this idea because there's no other major sporting event on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And we thought, well, why not? And getting back to that a little bit, I think one of the things that curling should look at is we always have the finals on a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday night. We're going head to head with football or baseball or hockey or whatever. I think we got to change that. Like why do we not have a championship on the Tuesday night or Wednesday night or Thursday night? And I know curler's going to say, well, it's more time off work, but we still got to promote the game where you get eyes on the sport, and it will work. But on Sunday afternoon or Sunday night, good luck. You're getting a few family members, grandpas and grandpas watching this and stuff, but that's it. We got to think outside the box a little bit. So hence that's why we went with the Tuesday and Wednesday.
You're trying to get the casual fan. Like your devoted fans are always going to watch the Brier final. They're going to watch the Scotties final.
But unfortunately, a lot of those Brier fans and the Scotty fans are getting a little older. They've been watching it for 30, 40 years, and they're starting to disappear a little bit. So we got to somehow get the younger fans or the new fans watching the game.
That's what I mean. It's like I think you're always going to get those really devoted fans. Like if you're a curling fan, you're going to watch the final. You're going to go find the finals, USA final, Scotties, Brier, Worlds, whatever. But it's trying to get that casual fan that
correct.
That I'm assuming Canada has the same thing. Every 4 years, you get the curling, you get the Olympic bump, you get a bunch more people interested in curling because they can watch it on a Tuesday night. And then they get excited. So trying to find that for your slams finals or your that's what you need to do.
Yeah, there's a fine line on there. Like, I mean, in curling in Canada, in the U.S., I mean, in Canada on TV, I mean, throughout the winter it's on all the time. We got 5 slam events, we got the trials, we got the Scotties, we got the points bet, we got a whole bunch of stuff on there. So, in a weird way, it kind of affects curling a little bit, I think, and people might think I'm nuts, but then we have an event somewhere and nobody's watching, nobody goes to the event because it's on TV and they're not helping the event. So it's kind of a fine line. Is there too much curling on TV in Canada? The average fan would say no, because they're not going to go watch anyway, but it's interesting, because you watch these curlers one day and then they're on again next weekend. So you miss it this week and it's on again.
Sure.
So, I don't know. It's again, you need a focus group to really sit down and really look at this.
So you mentioned that you're in charge of the rules and the event from start to stop. So,
Yeah.
what are some examples that you're doing different, or that you're hoping's going to work?
Well, we threw a bunch of ideas out there, and we don't want to, this is geared toward the U.S. audience, so we didn't want to make it too complicated for the new curler to come along or the new fan to come along and say, well, what are they doing here? What are they doing here? What's that rule? So we're going with a traditional 5-end game. I mean, 5-rock rule. And one thing that we're doing is going to be interesting a little bit, and we contemplated this. Like we got a 2.5 hour time frame.
Okay.
And
8 ends?
We're trying to fit in commercials and human interest stories between the ends and whatnot. We're going to have live interviews on the ice and whatnot, but it doesn't give us enough time to do it properly in a 2.5 hour span. So we are actually going to try a 7-end game. The curlers might not like it, but again, it's geared to bring in new fans out there.
Sure.
And we threw this 7-end game around with a lot of people, and with production, we asked a bunch of curlers about it. The curlers don't even know about the 7-end game yet. But again, I don't think it's going to affect the broadcast.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I mean, after this is all over and done, we might go, oh my God, that was dumb or whatever. But we got so much happening during the game. Like we hired a social media presence on the ice. She's going to be doing stuff on the ice for us. Interviewing and doing little stories on the ice outside of the broadcast people. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Nice. On the ice. So, I mean, I'm nervous as hell. I'm nervous as hell. Is this going to be pulled off or whatever? I'm worried about that and that. But hopefully it works.
So this podcast is going to come out in a couple of days. Are you going to tell the athletes within the next couple of days about the 7 ends, or are they?
Let them worry about it. I mean, they're asked, and then we talked about we're going to have. We talk about having a special rock where it's worth double the points, and we go, that might be a little gimmicky, a little bit. If someone's losing, like a concern that we had is we've got to go 2.5 hours, for sponsors and all the stuff that we have. So we were worried about the quality of curling, and I said, and I think that most U.S. fans are going to watch it anyway, even if it's, correct me if I'm wrong, if it's a blowout 8-1, 8-2, they're still going to be interested in the actual game, not the actual score. I mean, it'll help if U.S. winning, but so that was one of the concerns we had moving forward. But I mean, at the same time, you can have two of the best teams in the world that could be a blowout too. So there's no guarantees that way either. And I think we're bringing in Jennifer Jones and Matt Hamilton are going to be on the on-ice interviewers throughout the whole game.
Oh my!
Yeah, I saw Hamilton was doing color commentary. I made a comment on his Facebook post that why do good things happen to bad people? I just don't get it.
So good point. So we're going to have a timeout where they ask the pros. So they're going to ask Jennifer Jones, hey, what would you do there? And she'll be right in the house saying, well, I would do this. Then they'll ask Matt Hamilton their timeout or something, just something a little different rather than just get his opinion or her opinion of what's going on or what they think. Just bringing more things into the broadcast.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
All right. It's kind of like, I mean, you watch like the All-Star game and they give the center fielder an earpiece, and all of a sudden, Joe Buck and whoever else is talking to him in the middle of the play, ball gets in and is like, just a second, I got to track this one down. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like that stuff. So it's a great idea.
All the curlers are going to be mic'd up too, so we'll tune into that, and we still haven't 100% put together our production or what we're going to do. Someone might come up with an idea tomorrow and go, hey, yeah, let's do that one. So that's why we're a little careful of announcing all the rules immediately, because you have a beer or two and you come up with an idea and you go, oh my God, yeah, let's do that one too, or something. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Well, we know how curling has gone on TV for the past 20 years here in the U.S. So hats off to you for doing something different,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, the key for this event being successful is we need eyes on it. We need a lot of eyes on it. And the more eyes we get, the more success we'll be, and the better chance we come back next year. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen, or your fan base has seen, that we also have a pre-show where one was on last week on CBS, and I think one's running tonight, like right now. It's 7 o'clock, was it, Rich, or 6 o'clock? And it's on right now on CBS Sports, where it's a highlight show of how the men won in Canada and how the men won in the U.S. It's an hour show. So we're showing all the highlights of that. Now it's head-to-head. We did the ladies last week, and I think that's broadcast 3 or 4 times over the next week also.
All
So
right.
it'd be great if people can see that.
Well, I will check it out, and I'll
Yeah.
try and get it out there. I don't have a big social media following.
Yeah,
but I'll try and
it's
get it
live
out there.
right now. Look at
You
that.
should, because you're handsome.
Well, I appreciate that. I wish I had a bigger social media following too. Anyway, yeah,
I found it. You're right.
You should be able to stream it.
It is live now.
There you
Live
go.
right now.
I press play, but
Don't do that.
I don't want to get pulled down, so
No.
I got it set to
Nice.
record.
I wasn't aware of that. We probably should have done a better job of.
Yeah. So
As
here in the
USA.
U.S., it looks like it's on CBS. Nope. Stop.
Did you decide to do the event in the USA specifically, or was this the best venue?
Yeah.
Or
Well, no. I mean, the venue is fantastic here at Rock Creek. Like, they got a great facility.
oh,
here.
their
It's a
curling
brand new
club is
curling club.
gorgeous.
It's very good. You know, it's light, it's bright, it's got everything we need, so it fits in there. I mean, obviously, the biggest reason we came to the U.S. is because Everest is based out of the U.S. And again, we wanted to bring CBS on board. We wanted to get TV across the U.S. So hence, that's the reason for coming
Sure.
here.
Got it.
Okay.
Great.
And it helps you guys. It helps curling, or hopefully it does. It's
I
not
hope
gonna
so.
hurt.
So yeah.
What the women's team is from our club. We're all from Madison Curling Club. They went on
Yeah.
Madison Curling Club, so we know most of them fairly well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of them lives
they're
2 blocks away from me.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
They're young and they're excited. They're nervous, and the team from Canada is young also. So I think it's going to be a good look optically for the broadcast. You know,
Yeah, good.
2 young teams going head to head.
Yeah, here in the U.S., I see it's on right now on CBS Sports Network.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you?
Fantastic.
You said you kind of see how it's going to go. Do you envision having more teams in the future? Just having this be a similar kind of.
You know what? That's a very, very good question. You know, I mean, ultimately, you know, we've had discussions. You know, brief discussions. Maybe we have 4 teams in a year, or 8 teams. You know, we bring in Scotland and Switzerland and so forth. I don't even know if they have club championships there, quite frankly.
Sure.
But these are the kind of conversations we have throughout the year. You know, eventually building it bigger. You know, is it possible? I don't know. You know,
Right.
it's something we'll have to have a conversation with the World Curling Federation one day, or in the near future. Like, Bo Welling is coming to our event, which is pretty good, and I'm sure we'll have a few conversations there about some of his events that he has that they run. So that they've expressed some interest of us being involved in some of their events, and we'll see where it goes.
Excellent.
The U.S. we've had a club championship for 20 years?
20
Yeah, about
years.
20 years,
20
maybe a hair more.
Yeah, because I won in 2009, and it was already going,
Not to brag.
not to brag.
Yeah.
And it had already been going like maybe 5-6 years by then.
Yeah.
How long has Canada had theirs?
They go back 20 some years also, maybe even more. They've had a few sponsors. It used to be called the Dominions, and now it's called the Everest and whatnot. But one of the reasons we did the club championship is because I think they're the most unrecognized curlers in North America. They're the ones that pay the bills. They really are. Without these curlers, curling clubs are going to be closed. They turn the lights on, they pay their league dues, blah, 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 on and on. And they go unrewarded. And it's not because they don't want to be competitive. You know, jobs get in the way, family gets in the way, they don't have time. So some of these curlers, a lot of these curlers are pretty good. And they'd be a lot better if they invested the time into it, but they just don't have it. So that's why we kind of want to recognize these curlers a little bit also.
I love that.
Didn't you have wasn't the Canadian Club Championship, so I guess the Everest Club Championships, wasn't that in the Edmonton Mall a couple years ago?
West Edmonton Mall 2 years ago. Yeah, that was a really, really good spot. Very successful. It was on Black Friday weekend where the mall is absolutely jam packed. And so you couldn't help but generate people coming by there. So it went very well, and the curlers just absolutely loved it. The ice was fantastic, the viewing was very good, and I would love to go back there. Even putting I think I'm going to say 35 years ago, we used to have a couple bonspiels in the West Edmonton Mall that were pretty successful. And why we haven't gone back there, or anybody hasn't taken an event there, I don't know. You could easily put the mix in there, the seniors in there, or whatever. I think it would do quite well.
Again, we had our nationals in the mall last year. It was Joel did not like it because it was loud.
It was loud.
It was interesting watching it on the stream though.
It was okay.
Well, myself and Richard Coughlin, we were there. We went there because that was one of the sites we were actually looking at potentially to host this event that we're doing right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But loud, it's too loud. But that's what we want is loud.
Fair.
We want loud.
Well, the music was loud. The crowd was not loud. The music was loud, but
the mall music.
The mall music was just cranked in there. I just didn't like being in a mall for 16 hours a day for 10 days.
You can't
That's your own fault.
Pretzels.
It was too much. Too much.
Can only eat so many pretzels.
Interesting.
Right? Yeah.
that was quite the mall, though. It's a huge mall.
That place is crazy. It's got indoor downhill skiing.
Yeah. I want to take it on, but I decided not to.
More of a beach guy than a skier.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely a beach guy.
All right. Well, I don't think Everest would have gotten in touch with you, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't touch on your earlier curling career. You're I think pretty good back in the day from what I saw.
You think?
Different times.
Yeah. What I mean, yeah. You like I said in the intro, you are 5-time world, 6-time Brier champion.
It's no one-time U.S. club championship, but it's something.
Joel's a one-time club champion.
There you go.
I haven't won anything. Maybe a couple bonspiels. That's it.
They count.
Yeah, well,
you've won
in
my
somebody's
heart,
mind.
You've won my heart.
Awesome. You are. I think you're kind of credited. I think with something that a lot of teams use now is the zone system.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
That originated back in 2001, 2. And believe it or not, it wasn't 100% our idea. It actually came from Arnold Lasham.
Okay.
Arnold Lasham approached us and he says, "Well, why don't you think of this?" And I thought at the time it was the stupidest idea ever. I really did. And then we started implementing it. It just made more and more sense to use this. And today, a lot of people use it, some don't. And I still think it's the way to go. It's quick, it's short, it gets your sweepers thinking 5, 4, 7, whatever it is. It's rather than says, "Hey, geez, I think he's a little heavy." Well, what does that mean? He's a little like, well, what does that mean? So I know a lot of teams do use it, and I think it was a cool invention that we brought to the game, and it brought attention to curling. It changed curling a little bit from a fan perspective. They were interested. What the hell is this stuff? So. And we need more innovation like that in the game.
100%.
Got it.
Yeah, I think it's really helped out club players get better faster as well.
Sure. And it's not a question of being right or wrong. Like a lot of people think, well, it was a 6 and I said it was an 8. Well, that's okay, but eventually you're going to get better and better. You communicate with the front end a little bit. Your partner sweeping. No, it's a 6-5, and then you yell it out, and it does work. It does work.
I always tell my guys during even just our men's league games, it's like, I'd rather you say something and it be wrong, even if it's your best guess. Because if you say nothing, totally. I have no idea. But if you say 7 and I'm like, no, there's no way it's a 7. We should sweep it because it's light, or if it's heavy. I can make that.
Yeah, just tell me something.
Just say something.
Yeah, I agree. We say that. I used to say that to Marcel and Scott all the time, especially in the beginning.
Sure.
Just say something and get used to it.
Yeah. Do you think
you're not going to be right all the time, but
do you think that they were, when you had to tell them that, it was just because they were new and they were a little intimidated by you?
Well, yeah. No, I don't think so. I think anytime you implement a new system, you got to give it time. It's not going to work over a week or a weekend.
Sure.
It's over a long period of time. So they got better and better with it, and I trusted them more and more. And they're two of the greatest sweepers ever to play the game, and that was one of the reasons is the zone system that more so they perfected rather than I perfected or the team perfected.
Sure. So going back to that team, we'll maybe talk about your earlier teams later, but Joel, one of you two, brought up a question earlier. Like, how did you decide when you started playing with Dave that you were going to call the game and throw a third?
It's a good question. Well, I had gone to the Brier with Pat Ryan quite a few years earlier. And when Dave decided to move to Edmonton, believe it or not, I was already on a team. He moved there late in the fall or early fall, and I was committed to playing with a guy named Kenny Honka. And Dave approached me, he says, and he was just looking for somebody. And there's some gut feeling, and I think curlers need this a little bit more. There's a gut feeling. I didn't know Dave. I seen him play, but didn't know him at all. I went home and I told my wife, I says, you know what? There's something about this guy. I think I got to play with him. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why, but there's something that inside of me said I got to play. So I was a traditional third back then, a regular third, and Dave wanted to skip. And again, he never skipped again. And I says, there's something about this guy. So we let him skip, and to this day, we joke about it. So we played in about 2 or 3 bond spills, and Dave would put down the broom, and I go, no, that's a wrong call, no. And then later, no, that's stupid, Dave. What are you doing? And when someone on our team, I think it was Pat McCallum who was playing with us at the time, he said, well, Randy, why don't you call the game and let him sweep? Like Dave loves sweeping. He's in great shape and everything. So it made a whole bunch of sense to switch it. And he was all for it. It's not like we needed convincing and whatnot. And he got tired of us yelling down at the end, down at the far end, and tell him how stupid he was and how many dumb calls he made. So he's letting go with it. Yeah, I'm out. So and then it just picked up from there.
Got it.
Because at the time there weren't a lot of teams doing that.
There's a lot now. I mean, one of the most famous teams, the Shorey team from the women's from Switzerland, right? They made it with Tiranzoni and whatnot. They've been absolutely phenomenal with it over the years. I mean, and yet, some people have asked me about it. I don't even recommend doing that. That's the weird thing. I don't recommend doing that because I still think a skip should be holding the broom, watching the ice come down, how the ice works, how it's moving and whatnot. So when he's sitting in the hack, he kind of knows, well, I can be a little wide here, I can be a little narrow here. And so they really got to pay attention and really be on top of the game. So again, if I was putting a team together or coaching a junior team, I don't even know if I'd recommend that system anymore.
No, I agree. I don't think I'd recommend it, but it 100% works in the right situation.
Right. Correct.
I think it's being the guy who stood in the house, for all those years and calling my own. Like, I think that in the back of my head somewhere, I always had the idea of, well, this is my outshot that I know I can make if I have to. And I'm confident in that. Whereas if I'm calling the whole end, but somebody else has to throw this last shot of the end, they might not be confident in what I think the outshot is, or something like that.
I mean, they haven't had great communication, so that was never really the issue, But a lot of times when a skip is sitting in the hack, oh, that's too much ice or that's too little ice, I put down the broom and Dave goes, well, I guess it's the right ice, because
Sure.
I've been watching the ice all in. But you as a skip throwing last rock, in your mind that, that's too much or too little, tighten it up. And, there's not, I mean, it's difficult, but it does work on the right teams, like you say.
Sure. Well, I think it worked out pretty well because I think Dave was the hottest shooter in the world for about a 5-year stretch there.
He was pretty good. He was pretty good.
Certainly worked out well.
Yeah.
Totally. Your first couple Briers were with Pat Ryan?
Yeah.
And who else was on that team?
Actually, Don Walchuk and Don McKenzie. And I think for the first Brier, we had Roy Heber. That's an interesting story, too, because in 1985, when Pat lost the Brier final to Al Hackner on that miracle shot that Al threw, He had Gord Trenchy playing third, and I was kind of his, not nemesis, but sort of up and coming. I was a little bit younger than Pat, and he beat us to go to the provincials in '85 and whatnot. So probably within a week after he got back from the Brier in '85, he called me and we were not friends by no means. And he called me. He says, "Randy, I want you to skip my team next year." And I go, "Say what?" I says, "What?" He says, "You just lost the Brier final. You want me to skip? I've never won nothing ever in my entire life." He goes, "Yeah." So I said, "Yeah, of course I'm in." So after one bomb spill, the same thing with two bomb spills that happened, I says, "This is wrong, Pat. You're one of the best players in the world." And so we switched back, and that's why I went to third, and Pat started skipping again. So maybe he kind of tricked me into bringing this in because he knew eventually he would skip. I don't know.
So where did Pat live in Calgary at the time?
No, he moved to Edmonton. We're all based out of Edmonton.
Okay. Was that a rule back then where you guys had to be out of the same club or?
Same club, yes. Back then, you know, everybody, I mean, that's 80, 86, 87. I think every team played in the Super League out of their city. So we played out of the Super League. So we represented whatever club the Super League was at.
Okay.
I mean, curlers don't do that anymore. I don't think they play a club game for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, the top teams, do they? Probably not, you know.
Most of them don't.
When you were,
they belong to a club, but no.
So when you were in your heyday, like early 2000s, were you still playing? Like, would you go back after a spiel and play men's league? Or not?
Yes, well, yeah, there was like Super Leagues up until 2001, 2, 3, and then after a while, I think you didn't even have to. You have to represent a club, but you didn't have to play out of the club. But they want you to play out of the club. So we really didn't do a bunch of that. You know, I mean, we practiced there all the time. So we made an agreement with the club and the ice makers. They prepare ice whenever we wanted it. So, but we didn't really play. We didn't have. We were playing so much that we don't have time, and that's what, like a lot of the curlers now. They just don't have time to go on Tuesdays or Wednesdays to curl.
Do you curl anymore?
I haven't thrown a rock in 6 years.
All right.
Which is absolutely crazy. I would love to get back out there. I'm scheduled for a knee replacement, so we'll see what happens after that. I would like to get back out there, take another run at it, Brier, maybe.
I'll tell you what, talk to Joel. He runs a lupus spiel. It's a charity spiel up in the Twin Cities. He'll have you in. I'm sure they would
I've
love
heard of that. I've heard of that spiel for years, and I hear it's quite a great time, and you get a lot of good curlers coming to that. It looks phenomenal.
I've been there. I'm good.
I've never been invited, so
laying it on. Oh. I know a guy who helps run it, so we'll get you on the list.
Yeah.
Well, in case you haven't heard, I make homemade bacon for the hospitality suite. So that always goes
homemade
over
bacon.
really.
Yeah. Yeah, it's dynamite. Talk to Kevin Martin about Joel's bacon. It's pretty great.
It sounds intriguing already. Yeah. Bacon and curling, I kind of like it. Yeah. Hospitality, I like it.
Awesome. Homemade bacon, homemade brats.
3 good things.
All the good stuff.
I saw you were... All right, well, we won't keep you too much longer. I saw you were inducted into the Canadian Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Sports Hall of Fame.
What did that mean to you?
You know what? It was kind of the ultimate, to get into the Canada Sports Hall of Fame. I mean, every curler or sports athlete thinks they're better than what they are, and this is one thing that we had nothing to do with it other than our accomplishments. But to be included in all the greatest hockey players, football players, soccer, whatever Olympic athletes, was quite phenomenal. It was overwhelming. And just to give you a little, I'm not bragging about this because I don't talk about my curling accomplishments very often, but in the Canada Sports Hall of Fame, they have approximately 250 to 275 nominees every single year, and only 5 get in.
Whoa.
So to be that difficult to get into that thing is remarkable, So it's kind of cool, quite frankly.
Who was in your class?
George St. Pierre.
Okay.
You probably heard of him.
Yeah, he's an MMA fighter. Yep.
Yeah, oh yeah, and Scott Moyer and Tessa Virtue, the figure skaters.
Okay.
They're very good. Why can't I remember the other two?
That's okay.
You know, they have generally they'll induct somebody from 40 years ago, a coach or something like that from judo or something. You know, so I mean, you spread the wealth a little bit. You know, and I get that part.
Nice.
But from an athlete perspective, it was just the three of us.
Great.
So, how many curlers are in it?
That's a good question. There's not very many. Colleen Jones is in there. Schmerler's in there. I think Matt Baldwin's in there. Russ Howard's in there. Then I think there might be one or two I'm missing, but that's
pretty good.
probably it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, congrats.
Well,
Hey, I got one more question before we get into our end of the show questions. Back in the early 2000s when teams were boycotting playdowns, what was your team's conversation like to not do that versus all the other teams that did do it?
You know what? This goes back, and I know it's a topic of conversation, and there's a couple curlers that to this day they think we made a mistake, but we wanted the slams to go. But after winning the Brier, we got funded. We got funded like $150,000, $200,000.
Sure.
And if we would have boycotted the Brier, we would have lost that. And $200,000 for a curler, after you just won is a lot of money.
Yeah, for sure.
20 years ago, that was a lot of money.
Yeah. These other curlers, yes, they gave up the opportunity to play in a Brier, but between me and the wall, 3/4 of them weren't going to win dog shit anyway at the Brier. They weren't capable of winning, so they were giving up nothing. But yet, for some reason, they got mad at us. Like we asked all these teams, would you give up $200,000 and put yourselves in earth? And nobody was. Well, there was a few on our side, like Russ Howard, Guy Hammonds at the time. They were still on our side. They believed in what we were doing. But there was a few that weren't. But at no time ever were we against what was going on.
Sure.
We wanted to earn the slams for sure.
Sure. I was just curious as to like how that conversation went, and not knowing that financial end of it makes it a pretty easy discussion, I would imagine. So
that was the main reason.
Yeah, that kind of money in today's dollars is hard to pass up.
Yeah,
sure.
For sure.
Yeah. You got to ask your Martin question.
Oh, my son wanted to know Flames or Oilers. I know the answer to this, but my 13-year-old said I needed to ask.
The Oilers by a country mile.
Yeah.
Not even close.
No, I figured.
Not even close.
So, how was like that playoff run this year
much
was
does the
obviously
cup hurt?
pretty great.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Oh.
Considering the year, I mean, Edmonton fans are like any sports fans. Beginning of the year, they're 3-20 or something like that. These guys are the worst. 2 months later, they're the best in the world. It's just highs and lows. I mean, just like in any football city, baseball, hockey city, it's crazy how the fans go through all this motion. And for them to get to the final and 7 games it shut down the city. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I knew the answer to that, but I had to ask for my 13-year-old.
Joel's a Vikings fan, so he just knows terrible.
He just knows terrible.
Yeah.
Greg and I are Packers fans, so we're just like highs and lows. We're terrible now because Love's out.
It would be weird. It would be weird to have hope.
Yeah.
Well, I know. You're a Vikings guy. I know you got Cousins as your quarterback. There's huge. I mean, there's
not anymore.
There's
No, Cousins got traded.
He's gone.
He's gone. Cousins is gone. He's in Atlanta.
I'm sorry.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
They got nobody.
They
got nobody now.
I might as well be throwing it down.
Yeah. So it's. I mean,
our first round pick just took a big
the
jump.
Quarterbacks in the NFL are what make that every team pretty much. Let's be honest, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Randy, we got a few questions we'll ask you before we cut you loose. That we ask everybody that comes on the show. Quick one here. How did you start curling?
I started because my parents curled, or my dad curled, and I'm following him to the rink, as a young boy. Ironically, in Alberta or Edmonton, you weren't allowed to go on the ice until you were about 12 years old. I remember a sign. I'd love to have that sign. No kids allowed under the age of 12, which is just crazy. And that was early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. I'd love to have that sign in my house. But so I started when I was about 11 or 12. I know, you hear these people. I started when I was 4 or 5. Well, what does that mean? It's 4 or 5.
How long did you smoke on the ice?
I do remember it was when did smoking stop on the ice? I'm not sure, but I'm intrigued by all those pictures. I seen Bernie Sparks front end sweeping at the Brier with cigarettes hanging out of their mouth. I remember the ash cans on the club curling. You'd get mad and you'd swing your club and the ashtray would go flying on another sheet and stuff like that. That's what made curling interesting. And there's no more of that. But I do remember that. I go way back, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Other than what you would consider your home club, where do you like to play at?
The best place I like for traveling, I love going to Switzerland. I've been to Switzerland 14, 15 times. There's just something about curling there. And there's a couple curling clubs. I can't remember the name of it, but I can visualize it. The whole right-hand side was glass from top to bottom. And I walked in there and go, how does this work? And it was just beautiful. You'd make a shot or miss a shot, and you'd stare out at the lake there and the ducks flying by. And it was just crazy. Maybe, Craig, you remember that curling club if you've ever been there.
That was Lausanne.
Yeah, Lausanne. It was remarkable, actually.
Nice. So that's a popular answer.
Yeah, I like going there. Anytime you leave the country to curl as a common person, it's kind of cool.
Sure.
It's remarkable the amount of opportunities that young curlers have nowadays to travel and play this game. It's crazy. I don't think there's any other sport ever, any place that has got the opportunities that curlers have to travel.
What did you consider your home club?
We moved a few times because the Super League moved. It was the Ottawa Curling Club, is Balmoral, not the Balmoral, or the Granite Curling Club, and then we went to the Saville Center. So we kind of flip-flopped to wherever the Super League was at.
Got it. Okay. All right.
What club did you start at?
I started at the Thistle Curling Club.
Okay.
It was 2 minutes from about 2 minutes from the Coliseum where the Oilers played. So when we had an opportunity to play in the Brier in 2005, it was one of the last events there. It was kind of cool because the high school that I went to was just across the street, and the curling club that I started curling at was just 30 seconds away. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite bonspiel, and why?
I think one of the best bonspiels for fun was the Kelowna mixed bonspiel, like not mixed, but they had a women's division and a men's division. Used to play for cars. It was crazy, and it was packed for a whole week, and it was just joyous. You're sitting in the bar with Al Hackner and this guy and telling stories. Unfortunately, those things don't happen anymore, and I think curling's missing that. They're missing that big time.
Yeah.
But that was just a great event, the Kelowna bonspiels. And we were playing for just as much then as we are now, which is kind of crazy, and that's back in the 80s. As much as we like to think that curling has gotten bigger and bigger, it has at the slam events, but the bonspiels they're even worse now than they used to be.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that is a common answer or a common complaint amongst some of the athletes is that they don't curl for fun anymore. They don't have time. They don't have the time.
They're chasing points. They're chasing points, which makes no sense.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Setting aside money and championships, what's the best or weirdest thing you've won curling?
You know what? I don't think there's anything weird, but I remember playing in the Saskatoon. It was at the Nutana Club, I believe. They used to have a great bonspiel there, and they used to have these raffles. And I remember this. I tell people a story. I won beer for a year. I paid my $5 beer for a year. I got 52 cases of blue, and they gave me these and a fridge to go with it, a blue fridge. I still got that thing. And I remember I do, and that was back in the 86, 7, 8 or something like that. And I remember going to the liquor store, and I got all these coupons. He goes, "How many would you like?" I go, 52. I took all 52 cases at one time. I loaded up my van. And I thought I was just in heaven.
King of the
I don't know
world.
what happened. I don't know what happened to him, but that was.
That's awesome. I love that you still have the fridge. That's so great.
I do. It's a round beer fridge, you know, the blue, and yeah, it's downstairs in my basement.
Oh man, that's too awesome.
That might be the new best answer.
There's some good ones.
There's some good ones.
Definitely,
But
that's definitely
that's
right
out
up top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Top 3 for sure.
I
All
like
right.
that.
What is a skill or talent outside of curling you would like the world to know about?
You know what? I don't have one. I'll be honest with you. I don't think I do. My wife might think different or whatever. I wish I took more time and effort, like to play a musical instrument. I mean, I love music. I wish I could play the guitar. I took lessons. Bought a big guitar a few years ago. Took lessons, and it never worked. And so this guitar is sitting against the wall in the bedroom. I look at it every day. I say, should I engage in that? And I go, I should, but it was about 8 years ago, so I don't know why I would pick it up today again. But I wish I could play some musical instrument.
You a golfer?
Frankly. I'm a golfer.
Do you have a hole in one?
No, I do not.
Oh man.
No,
All right.
no, I don't.
Okay.
It's a great game.
All
Are
right.
you in on Donnie Bartlett's weekly game every now and then, or?
No, I haven't played with Donnie in a long time. You know, like it's unfortunate we lose contact with all these friends and acquaintances over the years. I mean, life gets in the way and whatnot, you know. But I haven't heard from Don in quite a while, and I was really intrigued to see him coaching Homan's team last year, I guess it was, and which he's a curler through and through. You bring him on your show or you talk about curling, he'll go on for hours and hours and hours talking about stuff that doesn't make sense or doesn't care anymore. But he can talk. He can go.
Fair.
All right, what's next here? What helped you along the way to be a better curler?
It's very simple, and I don't think enough curlers do it. I watch curling, and I mean when I watch curling, I watch curling. I didn't just be at the curling club. I watch what people are doing. I critique games on TV and whatnot. And again, I don't know if curlers do that as much as I used to do, but I probably don't think they did. I watch teams that I like, teams that I didn't like, what they're doing, why they're doing it. You know, I'd sit in the stands. Why are they calling that shot? And I would just be engaged in the game before I started becoming successful. I watched a ton of curling.
That's a good answer. I don't think we have that one yet.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, 2 fun ones left. You're going to a Bonspiel, and you get to take your ideal team. We've allowed people to take a 5-person team, so you can take 4 other people. Who would you like to take? Alive, dead, curlers, non-curlers?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it'd be hard.
And then
hard.
where would you like to go
There's no rules.
with said team?
You know what? That's a very tough one. And the reason I say that is because throughout my career, I've been fortunate to play with some of the greats or a lot of the greats. I started playing with Hank Gervais. I played with Pat Ryan. I played with Ed Lukowich. I played with Russ Howard in Boston. I played with Brad Gushu. I played with Kevin Martin. I played with John Morris. The list goes on. And I don't think enough curlers do that.
Yeah.
You know, and to back up the question that you asked me, how did I get, you know, what motivated me or get me better in curling? Those curlers did. You know, I took Mike McEwen to Europe or to China a couple years ago. You know, so I've been fortunate to play with a lot of great curlers. So it's hard for me to say who I've missed. I've never played with Glenn Howard, which is kind of strange.
Okay.
You know, other than that, I think Glenn and I are the same age. We think the same a lot. You know, we've had some great conversations. I never played with him, but I've been fortunate to play with some of the great curlers. I mean, I've even played with some ladies. I played with Jennifer Jones in a couple of our events that we've had. So it's so I really can't name 3 or 4 curlers. You know, I'd love to play with my dad again if he was alive and whatnot. You know,
Great answer.
He followed me for years, and you know, by the time I went to the Brier, it was kind of like, I can't play with my dad. You know, you're not good enough. But what a stupid decision that was. You know, I wish I had that opportunity now. You know, and I got 2 boys that I like to play with. I played with one of them. The other one's not really interested in curling. So that's more up there than
Sure.
someone from the West.
Well, you could play with your dad and your kids because they don't.
There
This
you
is
go.
an imaginary
And then,
game.
and then bring one non-curler from the Hall of Fame. Who would you like to bring from theAll of Fame to curl with you, with your family team?
One non-curler,
Who's
from the Hall.
Who's humping the drinks to the Ferbey rink?
That's a good question. You know what? No one's ever asked me that, and I really got to think about that one. I don't know.
All right.
Who?
I'm bringing.
No.
No.
No hockey player. Someone that's. I don't think there's anybody that jumps out right now.
Okay. We'll get back to me when we talk next. Whenever.
Sure.
Whenever.
Sounds good.
Where would you like to go? Do you have a spiel you'd like to go to, like an old car spiel or something?
Yeah, that'd be great if there's car spills. Like those are the best events ever. I mean, it was top end heavy for the prizes. Obviously, you get a car.
Yeah.
Like I've been fortunate to win a car in Vernon Car Spiel. Second prize was a quad or something. Third and fourth was $1,000 or some crazy thing.
So
but,
some like
but
1987 car spiel.
Yeah, 1987, 86, 87, we won the Vernon Car Spiel.
Sure.
It was a Chevette.
There,
And it was in the winter.
Chevette.
They had no plug-in heaters. They had no radio, but it was the coolest thing ever, though, just winning the car.
Nice. That was my answer when I wanted to play in like a 1980-ish car spiel in like Flin Flon.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them.
I want to play with like Hackner, and I want to play with like 82 Hackner and like 81 Burtnick. Like, because I'm just jumping in the time machine. I want to play with these guys when they were,
Yep. In their prime.
Partying at least.
I went to carry Burtnick to Europe one time. We invited him there with our team, and I tell you, we laughed and we probably drank the country dry, and we still won the Bonspiel. I don't know how we did it, but we somehow managed to do that.
Nice. All right, last one. You don't have a lot of baseball teams up in your neck of the woods, or at least not professional baseball teams by the major league standard. But if you had a walk-up song in curling, what would you like your walk-up song to be?
Well, I'm an '80s guy, so obviously there's going to be some '80s music. Bon Jovi, "Living on a Prayer." That's what I like to play when "Living on a Prayer" when you got to make a shot. There's Def Leppard was big, AC/DC, anything that motivates you. Those type of Thunderstruck or something. You're coming down and making a shot. Thunderstruck beats pretty good.
Yeah,
I love "Living on a Prayer." That's a great
great
walk-up song.
I don't think that one's on the list yet.
No,
I don't think so either.
I've been accumulating all of these on a Spotify playlist. So if you search, if you have Spotify, search for Curling Nation walk-up songs.
Yeah,
and
I'm going to now.
It'll just be a whole list of all the songs that everybody's.
Stuff.
It's a wild list.
It's real eclectic.
Did you put who suggested the song though? Because I'd really be intrigued to see who said that song.
I don't have that ability on there.
We don't have that ability.
I don't have the ability on Spotify.
we should figure out how to.
We can figure it out
do
somehow.
that.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
Well, you could go back and listen to every episode again. There is 4 seasons, so there you go.
Yeah. All right.
There you go.
Normally, before we cut you loose, we offer anybody to talk about their sponsors. You want to plug your event one more time? Plug Everest one more time before we cut you out?
I'd love to plug Everest. I think they're at the forefront of sponsorships and whatnot, and I don't see it going anywhere soon. They've done a great job of latching onto events that have traditionally have trouble getting sponsors. So, I think we're doing a great job. Another company I'd like to throw a plug in is our Asham Curling Supplies is the sponsor of our event also. And when you guys tune into our event, you're going to see all the clothing and all the brooms and the custom shoes that Asham designed, and he just gave them to the curlers. So the curlers themselves are really excited about it. But I can't say enough about Arnold. He sponsored this sport for years and years. He does tons of teams over and over and over, and without a complaint ever. So he's been great.
Awesome.
Good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I hope the event goes well. I hope it can get bigger and better as the years go on. We can have you on again. You can tell us all about all the successes.
CBS Sports Network in the U.S. and TSN in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, live next week, Tuesday and
Live-
Wednesday, 6
Live
p.m.
next. There you go.
September 17th and 18th.
Yeah.
6 p.m. Mountain.
There you
Excellent.
go. Do the math if you're not in mountain time.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
we're not going to. Randy,
Yeah, me-
thank you so much. Good luck, and go Team USA.
Hey, whatever works. I'm not sure for anybody. I can't.
I
Fair
appreciate
enough.
that.
All right,
man.
go-
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Go,
guys.
go
Good curling.
enjoy your poolside cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to. I'm heading down right now.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Randy.
Cheers.
Okay. Summer, what'd you do this summer?
What did I do this? I played a lot of golf. I was happy.
A lot?
Yeah. I mean, not as much as John Landsteiner. Not like 100 rounds or 200 or however many.
We can't all be
I mean,
John Landsteiner.
I didn't get up to play with John Landsteiner.
Did you know
but
that
I had
John
very
Landsteiner-
little free time this summer, so.
John Landsteiner and Bobby Splinter won the Wausau Country Club member guest.
What?
I saw that on the Facebook.
Nice. I didn't see that on Facebook. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
That's
Bob
something.
and Bobby and
Bobby and
Lance.
Landsteiner. Wow. That guy wins everything.
Yeah.
My cousin won a member guest as well at some swanky country club in Ohio, I think.
Huh.
I don't know. Less exciting.
Well, just because
But
we
he
don't
did-
know
but he
him
did-
or the
yeah,
country club.
Right, yeah. Kettle something country club.
Kettle Moraine.
Yeah. In
And
I was talking
think
about
it
the
was
curling
Kettle
club.
Moraine.
I was making a joke
it-
about the Kettle
I
Moraine
think it is
curling
Kettle
club.
Moraine Country Club, and I think it's in Ohio somewhere. It
All
doesn't
right.
really matter.
No,
but
it doesn't.
I don't think he listens to the show, but
Well,
I'll tell him I gave him a shout out. Maybe he'll listen to the end of this one.
Probably
Who knows? Probably not.
yeah, fast forward quite a bit to get to the good parts. But
Yeah. You got to listen to the whole Ferb interview, which was really good. I liked talking to Randy. That was great. What did you do this summer?
I watched a lot of youth baseball.
Okay.
I'm guessing not by choice.
No,
Well-
it was mostly by choice, but I would have chosen to watch a little less had I had that choice.
Were you a coach this year?
I was a
coached
assistant
before.
coach.
Okay.
I was an assistant coach on my youngest son's team. I was not a coach on my oldest son's team. But I was at the ballpark
A lot.
a lot.
Got it.
I saw some really bad baseball and some good baseball, but it was all right.
Just a lot of baseball.
It was a lot.
Got
I
it.
did something else though that I don't think I told either of you about,
Whoa.
which is pretty surprising, a little out of character. I went to a concert in Chicago. I'll give you each one guess to try and figure out what concert
You
I
went
may have gone to
a concert
at Soldier Field. So this is a big deal concert.
Soldier Field.
It was a big boy concert.
A big boy concert. Soldier.
Adult or kid stuff?
Adult.
Adult. Okay.
Although there were some kids there, which is pretty badass.
Man, I'm trying to think of the big concerts that were in Chicago this summer.
I don't know what concerts were in Chicago, so I'm just gonna start pulling.
You got one guess.
Oh,
Pearl Jam.
No.
Kiss.
No. Metallica.
Metallica.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
I went to a Metallica
went?
concert
With who?
with Brett and Sarah Ransby.
Wow.
So
Random.
we were at the Monona Community 4th of July Festival,
Okay.
and there's, a whole bunch of curlers. I don't know, there's a dozen or so curlers just standing around,
True story.
chit-chatting, having a beer.
Was this after we played golf?
Right at the day after.
Day after. Okay.
And we were talking about Brett that day.
Mm-hmm.
while we were golfing,
We were.
and then we're just kind of chit-chatting or whatever, and the cover band that was in the beer tent plays a Metallica song, and Lynn, my wife, kind of just turns around, and she's like, yeah, and Brett's like, man, I've been trying to find somebody to go. Like, they're playing in Chicago August 9th, and I've been trying to decide if I should buy tickets or what. And Lynn, doesn't look at me, doesn't ask me, it takes her 1 second, and she says, we'll go. So by 10 o'clock the next morning, Brett had purchased 4 tickets to Metallica, and Lynn was online trying to book hotel rooms.
Magic.
And so we went to Metallica.
Wow.
Nice.
You went and saw Metallica at the bank. Wasn't that one of the first things at the bank?
That was the
Or not-
second event at US Bank
U.S. Bank Stadium.
Stadium. Volbeat, Avenged Sevenfold, and Metallica.
Wow. What were your opening acts?
Pantera.
Oh, nice.
I couldn't understand a word that Pantera said.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Not a word of it.
Wow.
And but the only drawback I would say was that they played 2 shows.
Okay.
This is apparently what they did most of the summers. They'd go to a place and they'd play 2 shows.
Okay.
And then they were basically advertising it as no repeat weekends. And so I'm like, oh, well, this sucks. I'm only going to get to hear half of the good songs.
Oh.
But I heard a couple that I needed to hear.
Got it.
To properly say that I went to Metallica.
It was a proper Metallica concert.
Yeah.
How long did Metallica play? Do you know?
Great question.
It was over 2 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was much more than 2.
That was the same thing when I saw them. It was they played a solid 2 hours, no breaks. Just
yeah.
go.
No,
Solid
I mean
2
there was a kind of a break where I don't know who these guys are. What just the Lars and James are the 2 main dudes so they disappeared for about 5 or 10 minutes while the other 2 guys played some of the song that they made.
sure.
So there was a short break where 2 of the guys went away.
Was there anything they didn't play that you really wanted to hear?
They did not play Enter Sandman, which I would have liked to hear.
Oh man.
But they
Got it.
did play Master of Puppets, and if I wouldn't have heard that, that's the one song that I
That was the
feel like
one
I
you needed
needed
to
to
hear?
hear.
Got it.
That's when Christ's gonna start flipping
Yeah.
tables and throwing
Yeah.
punches. Yeah.
But we had these 3 kids in front of us. They were upper teens, low 20s.
Wow. All right.
And at one, long hair, the shirts with the sleeves cut off, they looked like they were from 1990 Metallica concert, essentially, and they're sitting in front of us, and a couple different times they just looked at each other with these big huge smiles on their face, and they put their arms around each other, and then they just started just doing this, their hair flying. It was hilarious. It was great. No, it was the last 45 minutes was
Dynamite.
probably about as good a concert as I've ever been to. Right up there anyways.
Nice.
That was my experience too.
Okay.
If you have a chance to see Metallica, do it. They are not phoning it in.
No.
They're still going hard for 2 solid hours. It is a really good show.
Nice. I don't think I took in a concert this summer. I don't think so. I've got one coming up in a couple of weeks I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to go see Marcus King at the Sylvia in town. He's pretty awesome. Kind of a bluesy
Okay.
rock kind of guy. But yeah, I don't know. Played a lot of golf. I didn't do. I will tell you, it was. I'm going to go out on record. Worst curling summer ever. I was signed up for 2 summer spiels, both sadly canceled.
Huh.
I was supposed to go to the summer spiel down in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Windy City one?
Windy City Open.
Oh, that's the one.
And they had some construction delays after their fire mishap.
That's too bad.
So they had to cancel. And then I guess this coming weekend we were supposed to play in Sticks and Stones, and they only had like 8 teams, so canceled.
Got it. I was wondering why you didn't ask me about the camper again.
Yeah, well, that's why.
Got it.
Canceled.
Great.
So, yeah, kind of a sad curling summer.
Oh, well.
There'll be other summer spiels.
Yeah. What'd you do this summer?
My back hurts, Craig.
House projects.
Why?
House projects.
Let the curling world know about your big news.
Flooring.
Oh.
I got new flooring in the house.
Nice.
And we can't, and we did walls, paint, ripped out carpet, put in new flooring. And we can't find a contractor to do anything, so we're doing it.
Okay.
And that's why my back hurts.
Great.
It's because you're having a kid. You can tell them.
We are having a kid. Yeah.
Joel's gonna have a kid. We have 4 between the 2 of us. Mm-hmm. Now he's gonna have 1.
We're gonna have 1.
Yeah.
Coming early November, we're gonna have a little girl.
Nice.
So
congratulations.
Thanks. So the podcast schedule might be a bit shaken up.
It'll be interesting this year. We'll see what happens. Joel's gonna get a dash of reality thrown into our podcast schedule. So
I did drop my Thursday night curling. So I dropped Thursday night curling.
Well,
so what are you signed up for curling?
Hopefully Mondays.
What are you going to sign up for?
I'm going to sign up for Mondays. Probably going to need to be a 5-person team.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, we often need subs, so if you don't find a 5-person team,
I might
probably be able to play a lot on our
join
team.
Your 6-person team.
Yeah, I don't even. I hope am I on the list again this year?
You're still on the team,
yes.
Yeah,
find myself.
Same crew.
All right.
We gotta improve.
We do.
Last year, we
do. We didn't.
We were pretty piss poor at
not
curling
very good
last year.
Well, we had real shaky first half.
Yeah.
Second half was better. We just had 1 bad game. Otherwise, I think we were in the championship. But
yeah. Yeah, the first half was bad though.
Yeah, real bad. Real bad. What do we have? 1 game where the 4 of us played together?
I think so. Maybe 2, but we just weren't good either. Like it was just a lot of bad curling.
Here's something else that's fun.
What?
I
love fun things.
The Madison Curling Club is going to host a Kevin Martin Curling Academy this summer or this winter. First weekend of December. I don't know if it's going to be open to other people outside the club.
I was just going to say we should probably figure out if that's going to be open to other people.
Yeah, but we can have Kevin Martin on the podcast because he'll be in town
in studio,
which means bacon.
We will have bacon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can we have other meats?
We'll have
as
bacon
well?
and the greatest curler of all time. Both.
I got brats.
Yeah, can we have some brats or some bring bologna or something?
I'll have to make more. I have to find time.
Yeah, well, I'm just asking
if
we can have more than bacon, please.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I look forward to that episode, mostly for the bacon and stuff, but also Kevin.
I do need to make some more ring bologna.
You should do that before.
I got a hankering for that. That's really good.
Great. What else did we do this summer? No curling.
I drank too much on Saturday night because we had our block party.
Oh, I love your block party.
And my block party is so much fun. And every year I tell myself I'm gonna stop drinking just a little earlier, and I don't. Every year. And yesterday, I had to drive Martin to baseball practice, and I was a hurting unit. I was tired because I was up until like 2.
Oof.
And there was like a lot of things that went into it too. So it wasn't just like sitting in a lawn chair until 2 drinking beers. Like I had to set up tables and fire pits and doing stuff. So it was a tiring drinking experience.
Mm-hmm.
But
I went to Charleston. That was fun.
South Carolina?
Yep. I should have looked Bo Welling up. Isn't he from Charleston? I should
He's
have.
probably somewhere down there.
He was probably traveling.
He's
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it was end of August, so he was probably at some slam.
What were you doing
Making
in
a golf course
Charleston,
somewhere.
South Carolina?
We did a little family vacation.
Okay.
My boys had never seen an ocean. I figured that was an easy flight. We could mix in a little learning, a little history.
What did you learn about history?
We did a plantation tour at the McLeod Plantation.
Okay.
Which was I wouldn't say, for me, not particularly eye-opening, but is kind of billed as the most historically accurate plantation tour.
Okay.
They really don't sugarcoat how shitty slavery was.
Okay.
And so I think the boys got some, some flavor, some eye-opening experiences with that.
Got it.
Truth bombs.
Yeah, some truth bombs. Yeah, I don't know. I can't mix in any. We probably need Delaney Strauss on to give me some
The
hip terms.
lingo. Yeah, the
lingo.
hip lingo.
I don't know what else. We just went to the beach one day, which was great.
Okay.
Just hung out at the beach. Toured a aircraft carrier and a destroyer. Was docked in the bay there. Did a little.
How big is an
did a
aircraft
kayak.
carrier? Like, how
It's
much bigger
huge.
than you were expecting?
Is this the one that's still in service or one that was out of service?
No,
And
it's
just-
decommissioned.
Decommissioned? Okay.
But still an aircraft carrier. Bigger than the flight deck,
Yes.
bigger than I thought. The interior, still surprisingly kind of
Tight?
cramped.
Sure.
Yeah, cramped.
They put a lot of people on one of those
Yeah.
things.
Yes. Yeah, like there's 3,000
Wow.
people on an aircraft carrier, which is insane.
How long is the flight deck, roughly?
I bet it was 300 yards
Okay.
ish.
All right. It's big.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
It's a big
surprisingly
boat. Big damn boat.
We also toured a destroyer. My uncle was on a destroyer. My uncle is probably used to wrestle in the Navy and is 6'4", and back then was probably 210.
Okay.
Like big dude. I can't imagine him
Fitting.
running around in a destroyer.
Sure.
Like just every
Hit
door,
his head-
every
hit-
door that he
hitting his
would.
head and everything.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Every door he would have gone through, he had to duck his head. Anywhere he was like stretching out, he would have had to have been outside the vessel.
That's why
So.
I prefer the Air Force. Got a little more.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you
Elbow room.
weren't in an airplane like a jet fighter. You would not have fit in. I don't think.
Yeah.
My grandpa,
Yeah.
you said your uncle wrestled in the Navy.
He did,
My
yep.
grandpa boxed in the Navy,
Oh yeah.
and he was about 5'3" and probably about 130 pounds. So the opposite of your uncle.
Yeah.
But that's about all I know
Yeah.
about that.
Nice.
I just know that Leroy Brown was
Leroy,
not a big,
Leroy
not
Brown
a big
was not
dude.
a big man, but he was bad.
Apparently
Leroy
he
Brown
boxed
in the Navy.
In the Navy, I
Oh,
guess.
I forgot this. We did go to Canada for a week.
You went to Canada
Oh,
for
yeah.
a week.
We
What'd
did.
you do there?
Wife and I went to Quebec City
Oh,
for a few days.
Craig's been there.
And, spent a few days in Montreal.
Montreal.
Nice.
Did you have poutine?
I did a poutine.
A lot or just a little?
I had at least one dish of poutine. I think I had two.
Okay.
I had rabbit poutine.
Oh, you went to the rabbit place.
Yeah, we
in
did.
Quebec City. That's
We
so
did.
good.
It was really good.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that place. That was
Mm-hmm.
that's maybe my number one reason to go back to Quebec City is to go back to the rabbit restaurant.
We were at Rabbit, and they had rabbit. It's like, I haven't had rabbit.
You
so
have
I
to
guess-
try it.
I guess I gotta try it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it was dynamite.
It was really good.
Awesome.
Quebec City was good.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a
I'd
nice
go
city.
back.
I like it.
It is. I'd definitely go back.
Great.
I did one other thing. We went out west, and I went to what I believe, I'm not positive if this is true, but this is what I was told, the least popular national park in the country, or the least visited national park, which is the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park.
You were telling me about this place.
Where is this?
It's kind of southwest-ish Colorado. Mostly west and a bit south. Kind of out by like Grand Junction, like an hour south of Grand Junction, Colorado.
How close is it to like Gunnison?
Pretty close.
Okay.
Like the river.
I played.
It's the Gunnison River that goes through there.
Okay.
But I don't know how far away Gunnison is. With as
Sure.
the crow flies, less than 60 miles, but it could be, 150 by road.
Sure.
With the mountains in the way.
Many, many, many moons ago, when I lived out in Colorado, we used to play in an outdoor hockey tournament every year in Gunnison, which was pretty awesome.
I'm good.
So,
it was an interesting part. It was hot, but that was probably because it was in July.
Okay.
But it's like this mini Grand Canyon.
Nice.
Like it's like 2,000 feet deep. 2,200. I think it was 2,200 feet deep at its deepest, and like 1,100 feet across. It's like this big gorge
big.
canyon. It's beautiful.
So, how many other national parks have you been to?
Handful.
Where do you think this one should be the least visited?
Well,
now that they're going to get the Coronation bump, you
I
better
mean,
get there now because it's going to get crazy.
get your reservation.
it's amazing for like a day. and a
Amazing
half.
for a day.
Yeah,
Okay.
2 days. Like it's not a place because
It's not very big.
you can't hike much there
Okay.
because you have to go down a 2,000 foot like.
It's steep, like you can't
Yeah, it's not
don't
like
have-
you can take casual walks down to the bottom
Okay.
or anything
Okay.
like that. Like
Got
it's so
It's just one quick.
you're basically on
Ride down.
either the north rim or the south rim, and then there's all these overlooks where you can see this beautiful scenery and such. But it's not like a great destination to go to if you want to go hiking or biking
Okay.
or something.
So, worth a look
worth
if
a
you're
day.
out there, if you're in the area,
For sure.
but not.
If you want to see a big hole in the ground,
It's a big hole.
it's a big hole in the
It's a
ground.
big damn
Not
hole.
Yeah,
all right.
cool.
Properly rated.
Yeah, it was good.
Properly
I mean,
visited.
It was well, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably a little undervisited because it is very beautiful and it's
Right.
it's surprising. Like I don't think anybody is expecting such a thing from the least visited national park.
Sure. Love it.
All right. Coming up, what do you guys got planned for the curling season? Anything planned yet?
Well, dude,
Or-
my
no.
curling season's gonna suck this year. I'm gonna be able to play Mondays, and that's probably about it. Hopefully, shoehorn in like a bonspiel. It's gonna have to be like and loaded again. That I'm gonna have to go to. Well, I have to go to point mixed because we won last year, so I think we have to defend our title. I hope to return to House Hearts, and outside of that, I don't know. But I don't know. Halloween bonspiel.
I don't have a bonspiel scheduled yet. I'm still
No, you gotta
still
find one.
looking.
Yeah.
I don't know what my schedule's like. I
If
don't
you
know.
can figure out a terrestrial one, we could maybe try to do it together.
Does that mean
Well, not or I should
the
say
one that we
if-
drive to?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
like,
referencing?
One in North
One that
America.
Got it.
One that doesn't include
Not-
airfare.
Yeah, not
Okay.
well.
Probably not include. I don't know that. Yeah. All right. I haven't even thought about it.
I'm
I'm playing
just saying.
Mondays
Throwing it out there.
again. I tried to get into Wednesday league and I can't.
Maybe I know somebody, Craig.
I do know some people, but apparently they know me too well and they don't want me in. I don't know. Maybe they don't like me.
I get, my family schedule's getting real thick. So.
But I'm trying to get in so I can play with my kids.
Yeah, do it. What about you? You're gonna play. You decided you're gonna play Monday.
Gonna sign up for Mondays. Probably gonna have to be a 5-person team.
Yeah, real spotty.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to play.
Maybe a Bonspiel. Maybe. See how it goes.
Well,
see how the first 4 months of life go.
I can't schedule anything.
No,
right
you can't.
now.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
I'm not gonna schedule anything right now.
Well, you're already one step ahead of some fathers to be.
Yeah.
That you have at least learned that much that you can't schedule anything.
I figured there's a lot of people dumber than us that have done this. So
there's a ton of people. So many stupid people have had kids. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing how many stupid people have had kids. Like most of them.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Oh, that's it. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch some curling.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch some.
The Double Down's gonna be earlier this year. I'm not sure how much.
It is. That's.
I'm not gonna be able to do much commentary because I'm pretty sure that's the opening weekend of deer season, and I'm not missing that.
Yeah.
No, it's
the opening weekend
of
deer
season.
Before that. It's the opening weekend of deer season.
Well, too bad for you. I'll be there, Joel. I'll help you. I don't know if you're there.
All right.
I'm not sure. It's gonna be my equipment.
All right, well,
I'm gonna set it up. I might need to find somebody to sub in for me.
All right, well, I don't know how to run any of the damn buttons, but I can talk into a microphone.
Tens of fans will be excited that I'm not on the microphone this year.
I will just, I'll just fucking take over. We need the button pusher, and I'll talk.
There you go. You got it.
It's not like once it's all set up and going. It's not like it's actually pretty easy. It's just when things go wrong.
Oh yeah, well I'm not. Then I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Then we're fucked.
Then I'm just gonna swear and sign off.
I'll say this: I don't know if he listens to the show or not. There's a tiny part of me hopes he does. John Cullen, friend of show, couple-time guest,
two-time guest.
He's ending his Blocked Party podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed to see that the other day. But he's got some other stuff in the works. And he's got his Jeopardy podcast still, but they feel like Block Party's kind of run its course. They got over 300 episodes. That's insane. But
how many do we have?
They don't have a season on theirs. They just
keep going. But I think they do it once a week.
What do we got about?
At least
40,
we got
50?
We got probably
60, 50?
12 to 15 per season.
Times 4. I bet we're
50,
maybe at
60.
50. 50 if we're lucky.
50 to 50 or so ish.
Huh. All right.
But yeah, I was sad to hear that. But he's got some other stuff, so I look forward to still hearing from him. I enjoy his Jeopardy.
I think
podcast.
he did a pretty good job on the.
On Broomgate.
Broomgate one.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Broomgate was dynamite.
If you haven't seen it or listened to it, check it
out. Check out Broomgate. Hopefully we give him a little bump there. Some more listens. That was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the podcast.
I got a couple new products at the curling shop. Maybe we'll talk about that in another show.
Okay. People are gonna need stuff.
Well,
let's talk about it now, quick.
Yeah, we're already going kind of long, so we can save that for next time.
All right, we'll save it for
talk
next
about
time.
that next time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. All right. Great. That's it.
That's it.
Craig.
Joel.
Mike. All right, season 5, episode 1 in the books. Thanks for listening. Big thanks to Randy Ferbey for coming on. That was a great interview. Please check out the Everest Curling Championship or whatever it's called. I forgot. CBS Sports next Tuesday, Wednesday. Watch it.
The 17th and 18th of September.
And 18th of September. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate that.
EverestSports.com.
EverestSports.com. CBS Sports. I don't know how many more sports I can shoehorn in here. Anyway, big thanks to Modus for coming back this year. Check out moduscc.com if you need any point of sale stuff. If your curling club's getting up and running, give them a jingle and take credit cards this year. Way easier. Also, if you need a new broom to start off the new season, endgamecurling.com. Check them out. Nice brushes, lightweight. They got the new Icon head, well, new last year, which is the more small, compact, competitive head. They've got a little bit bigger one. Quick change fabric. Do it. EndgameCurling.com. If you want some merch, we still have ends cards. Take them to your Bonspiels all year. Play ends for drinks or dollars or, I don't know, figure out something else. I think that's it for Season 1, Episode 5 on our podcast. Mike McDermott.
Season 5, Episode
Season
1.
5, Episode 1. Fucked it up. God damn it. I thought I was going to get through it. Didn't. Mike.
Joel.
Craig.
Out.